So, you're thinking of moving to Annapolis, Maryland? In this video, we're going to show you around Annapolis. We'll start with a walking tour of the well-known historic landmarks for which Annapolis is well known, so you get a good sense of downtown Annapolis. We'll show you some of the main attractions that Annapolis offers, such as Eagle Alley, which is a favorite city park on the waterfront, the Historic District, our state capital, boutique stores, and of course, the United States Naval Academy. Hey, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to know everything about moving and living in Annapolis, Maryland and the surrounding areas, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Annapolis. My name is Marie Paraschak, and my husband John and I, we get calls every day from people just like you looking for help on making the move to Annapolis, and we love it. Whether you are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, and send us an email. All of our contact information is below in the About section. So reach out to us so we can help you make a smooth transition to Annapolis, Maryland. Hey, welcome to Annapolis. Annapolis is a very unique city. It still retains a very small town feel, but it's very unique for its historic origins and the fact that it's on the water, and people just love it here for all different kinds of reasons. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of a smattering of what Annapolis is all about and what people really enjoy about living here. Hi, welcome to Annapolis. You're going to really enjoy learning about Annapolis. It's a very unique place to live and a very unique city, but it still retains a lot of the small town qualities that people really enjoy. People tend to know their neighbors here, and even though it's a big tourist destination, people who live in and around the surrounding areas really enjoy Annapolis. It has everything to offer people. Annapolis has 3 zip codes. The main one for downtown is 21401. And then the surrounding areas, which we'll explore, will be 21403 and 21409. The temperatures here are typical of 4 season states. So what you're going to find in the summer, it tends to be between 80 and mid-90s, and it gets pretty humid because Annapolis is on the water. In the winter, what you're going to find is that the temperatures tend to be in the low 20s into the 60s. And people who enjoy winter sports will find that there are activities here that they are able to do, such as ice skating at quiet waters, as well as driving north to Whitetail, Pennsylvania for skiing and snowboarding. In the autumn, the temperatures tend to be very 60s and 80s, as well as the spring. So we are now in the spring, and you can see that the trees are foliating. Most of it has foliated, so it's really beautiful. What you're going to find is that with Annapolis in the 70s, it was around 10,000 people who lived within the city limits, and then now Annapolis has quadrupled to 40,000. So that's always a good sign. The other thing is that people who grew up here, such as myself, decided to stay here and raise their own families, and so that also speaks well of Annapolis. What you're going to find is that Annapolis is a very historic city. The people over there are dressed up in historic garb, and they're probably tour guides for Annapolis. And you can go on a tour guide at the visitor center, which is on West Street, not very far from here, as well as take a virtual tour, or have a walk-around tour, which is also available. So here we are in Eagle Alley, and as you can see, there's piers and there's slips for people to come and bring their boat for the weekend or day or whatever, and they just visit the harbor master, which is right across the way, and they can enjoy Annapolis that way. The other thing is what you're going to find is in the background, that's our state capital, and I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. So here we are in Eagle Alley. This is a very popular space for people to come, sit, and enjoy the water, or wait for the harbor queen in order to take a tour. So this is a beautiful little area, and it's very popular. And as you can see, across this Eagle Alley, you're going to find some restaurants that are very popular. You're going to find the Fleet Reserve, you're going to find Tesser's, and believe me, in Annapolis, every and any kind of cuisine can be found. So here's a quick thumbnail history of Annapolis. Maryland is one of the 13 original colonies of our country, and Annapolis, of course, sits in it. Annapolis is a seaport town and it has a lot of history. So here we are on a one-way street, and as you can notice, this is one of the earlier homes that looks like it's been renovated a little bit. And these homes, even though they can be small, these are very sought after, and people love the walkability factor of going downtown to catch something to eat or to get a coffee or to sit in Eagle Alley and just watch the boats go by. Now, Annapolis was founded in 1649 by the Puritans, who were escaping religious persecution in Virginia. So they came here. And finally, in 1706, Annapolis was named after the Queen of England, Queen Anne, and in 1650, Annapolis now sits in Anne Arundel County. It was created by the Maryland General Assembly and named Anne Arundel after Lord Baltimore's deceased wife. So that's how come we have that name. It's an oddball name, but that's a historic reason. For you history buffs who want to get into more of the Annapolis history, I suggest that you look at the Carroll family and the Calvert family. They were huge in colonial times. So in the background here, you're looking at the Maryland State Legislature. It's the oldest legislative state capital than any other capital in the United States. The legislators meet here from January to April for 90 days. Some say it's long enough. But anyway, this has a lot of significance historically. This is not only the oldest state capital, and it's open every day except Christmas and New Year's Eve from 8:30 to 5, and there's self-guided tours. But aside from that, the historical significance is this is where George Washington resigned his commission as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army in December of 1783. And then in January of 1784, the Treaty of Paris, which formally ended the Civil War between the American Continental Army and the British Army. Here's one of the boutique roads that people can find unique gifts and jewelry, fashion, all kinds of a couple of restaurants. So this is called Maryland Avenue, and it's right off Maryland State Circle, where the state capitol is. We're on Prince George Street, and you'll find that the larger historic homes are on this street and also on King George Street. And the interesting thing about this is that every year the Historic Society has a candlelight tour, which begins the first weekend in November to kick off the holiday season. And it's fun because many people travel this road up and down. You often wonder, what do they look like inside? So the candlelight tour, it's about $35 a person, and it's over 2 nights. So it's a steal because I just love browsing and seeing what these homes look like inside. So here we are at one of the entrances to the United States Naval Academy, which was founded in 1845. And it grew from 11 acres to 338 acres as their campus. And it houses 4,000 midshipmen, not cadets, that's West Point. Midshipmen from all around the world, and of course our 50 states. So it's a very popular visitor center, and they have all kinds of activities during graduation week. So here we are in the Naval Academy grounds, and this is the iconic Naval Academy Chapel. Recently they restored the dome. It's copper. So over the years, I've only known it as a green. As it oxidized, but recently, over the last couple of years, they worked on it, they restored it, and now it's this beautiful brown copper. So we'll see how long it takes before it starts to oxidize to the green that I'm used to. The other interesting thing about the Naval Academy Chapel is that below is the crypt of the father of the Navy, John Paul Jones. So visitors are able to go down there and visit the crypt. It's amazing that that's his final resting place. So it's pretty special. The yard itself is beautiful. We'll walk around and take a few more pictures. And it sits on the Severn River, fronts on the Severn River. And as I've mentioned, there's 338 acres that the Naval Academy encompasses. So it's a beautiful place. This is actually called the Yard. So midshipmen and people familiar with the Naval Academy call it the Yard, meaning the campus. So that's another little tidbit. That's how some people can tell if you're an Annapolitan or if you're a tourist. So let's keep going. So here we are. I'm still at the Naval Academy, and aside from the sports field here, across the way, you can see that Annapolis, the Naval Academy, fronts on the Severn River, and you can see all those beautiful homes across the way. They're still in Annapolis, only it has a different zip code. It's called 21409. It's a very popular area in and around 21409 because you're not in the city limits and you're not paying city taxes. The homes are larger, and some of them are older and have that gorgeous historic charm of Annapolis, but they're not considered historic. So I hope this gives you a little bit of a feel of what is around Annapolis and here at the Naval Academy. It's just beautiful. And here we are at the entrance to Bancroft Hall, which is the entrance to the midshipmen's dormitories. As mentioned, 4,000 midshipmen from 50 states and some countries come here to earn their 4-year degree. The Naval Academy is accredited. So here's a little bit more of what the Naval Academy looks like. You can see some midshipmen walking around getting ready to go to school, and it's really beautiful. And if you do plan to come to the Naval Academy for graduation week and some of the activities, please do yourself a favor. Wear very comfortable walking shoes, and also maybe a bottle of water, and what else? Yeah, just be prepared for heavy traffic as well. So if you are within walking distance from your hotel or your bed and breakfast, then great, but please pay attention to what I'm telling you and you'll thank me in the end. The name used to be June Week, and then it became Graduation Week. And that's because for some reason, the Naval Academy decided that they'd rather commission and graduate their seniors in May, so it could no longer be June Week. So it's Graduation Week. Now, during Graduation Week, there is a few parades on Worden Field. Now, it looks like it's Worden, but the family, which again, an Annapolitan family of long standing, corrected the Naval Academy and said it's Worden. So be interesting to go to a parade today and find out if they're still pronouncing it correctly. Now, the next thing that is a huge favorite is when the Blue Angels come, and they give an air show like no other. It's phenomenal. The best place to watch are around the periphery of Annapolis. They close the bridges so the pilots are not distracted by activity on the water or on the bridges. And then they give this wonderful air show. They also do a flyover for graduation. So it's pretty exciting happenings. The best place, if you can get onto the Naval Academy grounds to watch, would be Hospital Point, which the best entrance would be Gate 8. But since 9/11, security has really been beefed up. And you may still have to come in through Gate 1, and you have to show a pictured ID, a government pictured ID. And I would imagine for the parades and also for graduation week, for the activities and anything open to the public, you have to come in through Gate 1 and show your ID. The lines are bound to be very long. So keep that in mind if you plan to visit and come on to the yard during graduation week. It's worth it. So this concludes our first video about things to do and places to see in Annapolis downtown. I hope you enjoyed it. And if John and I can be of any help, please call, text, or email us, and we'll be happy to help you out any way we can. Thanks so much.